Shifting sands, shifting plans, this world so uncertain, try to understand. Changing waves every day, who's there to guide me when I make this change? I stop and look back, 'cause I learned from my past. I've always been right on track. It may seem like it's all arranged. There is a plan that's turning page by page. I am safe, 'cause it's only change. Time sure moves quickly, but I stay the same. I stop and look back, 'cause I learned from my past. I've always been right on track.
Say I gotta make peace with yesterday. I've been holding on too long, trying to figure out who's right, who's wrong. The past is over now, time to move ahead, and I know gotta stop looking to people or trends and let the answer come to me from within. Let's go, my friend. I don't need no map, 'cause I know the way. All I gotta do is hear what my heart will say. I just trust that voice that's inside of me, gonna lead me down that path so beautifully. Here's what I say, I gotta listen to my heart more every day. When my purpose is clear, choosing love, not choosing fear. When I learn how to be still, I can conquer what my heart will say. Just trust that voice that's inside of me. Inside of me. Gonna lead me down that path so beautifully. Don't need no map, 'cause I know the way. Know the way. All I gotta do is hear what my heart will say. Just trust that voice that's inside of me. Inside of me. Gonna lead me down that path so beautifully. Gonna lead me down. Gonna lead me down the road. Gonna lead me down. Gonna lead me down the road. Gonna lead me down. Gonna lead me down the road. Gonna lead me down. Gonna lead me down the road. Gonna lead me down. Gonna lead me down the road. Gonna lead me down. Gonna lead me down the road. Oh yeah.
Good morning and welcome to the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Maxine Kaye and I am the spiritual leader of this beloved community. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are more than welcome here. This is a beloved community of people who care and people who wish to grow and learn and expand in their consciousness of their spiritual evolutionary process. And you're here for the very same reason, I know that. And so we're so grateful to have the opportunity to continue to be with everyone who tunes in with us right now while we are meeting virtually. And it's a wonderful way to stay connected, isn't it? We're right here in the Inspiration Cafe, which is the sweetest, most wonderful place from which to share our message with you every week. And it is truly an inspirational cafe. It is the home of our beloved member, and we enjoy looking around every little corner of this lovely home. Has a lovely picture that's uplifting to the heart. It has beautiful quotations that remind us about the truth that sets us free and keeps us free. So it's a beautiful place to be. And we also love that we are a larger worldwide community, that there are centers for spiritual living all over the world, including our sweet center, our wonderful, powerful center in Ukraine. Now, just yesterday, Reverend Mike and I had the great pleasure of helping to celebrate the 20th anniversary of our sister center in Philadelphia, the Center of Peace. And it was lovely to be there with these dear people. And they are doing the same thing we are doing right now, which is continuing to maintain community by live streaming, and at the same time knowing the time is coming for both their community and our community when we will be meeting in person again. So keep the faith. That's what we're doing. Now, we are all of us in our Centers for Spiritual Living, we are all about awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are also all about co-creating a world that works for everyone, a world that works for all. And we have a powerful statement that we like to use here because we are constantly using our spiritual tools for every human condition you can imagine. And so our teaching, our philosophy is all about basically 3 words. You know what they are, don't you? Will you share them with me now if you do? Ready? Living, loving, learning. Spirituality that works. Yes, it does. Now I would like to invite for our opening song, Peggy Lebo, to sing Path of Light.
I will trust in the Spirit shine a light in the darkness. I will bring forth the truth. I will always honor the beauty and light that I see in you. Lead me on this path of light, and every step I take in faith leads me home to a place where all I know is love and grace. Lead me on this path of light. As I breathe, I become completely one with the light and the love. Completely one. As I breathe, I become completely one with the light and the love. Completely one. Lead me on this path of light, and every step I take in faith leads me home to a place where all I know is love and grace. All I know is love. All I know is love. All I know is love and grace. Grace.
Oh, that was lovely, lovely. Thank you, Peggy. May I speak to you kids, please? Gather round wherever you are. Hi. Was it easy to wake up this morning? Did you know that you could hardly wait to get out of bed because it's Sunday and you have wonderful things to do, including being with us for just a few minutes? It isn't always easy to wake up, isn't it? Is it? Sometimes you're knowing that you need to get up and you need to go to school, and maybe you're really looking forward to it and you can hardly wait, and maybe you just seem a little sleepy and you're not sure you want to wake up yet. But I'll bet you if someone's taking you fishing that morning, that you'd get up at 4 o'clock happily, wide awake, right? Doesn't it depend sometimes on what we're planning to do that day, so that we have something we're looking forward to? Sometimes we're very happy to awaken if we've been having a bad dream. Did you ever have a nightmare? I think all of us have from time to time. And isn't it wonderful? Oh, aren't we glad to wake up out of that nightmare and realize it never was true. It was just something that was going on in our subconscious mind that, I don't know, we needed to work out, I guess. But oh, what a relief when we finally wake up and realize it never happened. It wasn't true. The greater truth is here and now, rising in this beautiful day, and a spring day, that it's a wonderful opportunity to be alive and awake and aware. Well, you know, similarly, sometimes the things that are going on in our lives and in the greater world particularly seem like a bad dream. And it's when we become too involved and maybe too afraid and maybe too worried about what's going on out there that we forget to wake up to the beautiful truth that underlying all of that activity, the presence of God is peaceful and harmonious and loving and wise. So we want to wake up from a temporary condition and remember that God is still in charge. and that the temporary conditions will ultimately fade away, and the truth of love and compassion and justice and wisdom and goodness will return to our experience. I'll let you return to your eggs now, or whatever it is that you're involved in for breakfast. And now I'm going to bring us into our meditation. Time for meditation, after which there will be a lovely meditation song. Remember when we gathered in person, how we used to have that meditation song that followed? Well, we have the pleasure of that again today. So let's take a few deep, holy breaths. Oh, as we breathe in the life of Spirit, it changes everything for the better. It reminds us to receive the breath of life. And in our exhalation, that life moves outward and touches and blesses everyone that we know. A few more deep breaths, holy breaths. Allow that breath to circulate now through the body, bringing new life, refreshment, health and wholeness. Let that beautiful holy breath move through our emotions, bringing serenity and calm. Let it move through our mental bodies, allowing us to feel harmonious and peaceful. And now we give thanks that the physical, emotional, and the mental are a beautiful instrument through which Spirit loves to shine and express its goodness. Come into the heart now, feeling the divine presence that is welcoming and embracing us as we enter deeply, deeply into our heart and soul, and begin to feel ourselves wrapped in the love of Spirit, held tenderly in the presence of the universal Christ, and just rest and realize that anything that formerly, yesterday, 5 minutes ago may have concerned us now dissolves into the natural nothingness from which it came. And there is peace, and there is love, and there is guidance. We rest in the arms of the divine. The cosmic heart is holding all of our hearts very tenderly and very securely. For there's no place where the presence of God is not present. It is omnipresent. How good to remember to awaken to the reality that there is this precious presence underlying everything and within everyone. How good it is to rest from the concerns of the world. How good it is to remember that the divine presence of love and compassion, of harmony, peace and power are fully alive within every sentient being, fully alive within each of us, bringing the peace, reminding us of the power. We are now awakening to the truth, the beautiful, beautiful truth that there is God and nothing else. Rest in this awareness. Rest in the beautiful, sweet presence that loves unconditionally, that supports completely as we enter now into a moment of sacred silence. Come into the silence and listen with the ear of your heart. And let that sweet melody continue to calm and inspire you all day. Let the melody of spirit continue to express through your heart, your mind, your emotions, keeping you in perfect peace. For the deep truth is that all is well. All, truly, all is well.
Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. You have all you need, it's all inside of you. Just close your eyes and breathe and know that you are safe. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. No need to make a plan, your heart will be your compass. Lift your sails in faith and trust that you will arrive. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Float into the mystery. Float into
Oh, thank you. That was so sweet. Now I'd like to introduce to you our practitioner of the day with an opening treatment, Mary Furtaw.
Thank you, Dr. Maxine.
Close to your mouth.
Good morning. My name is Mary Furtaw, excuse me, and I am a practitioner at the Center for Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living in Paoli, Pennsylvania. Please join me as I speak these words of truth. I know that there is one power in the universe, and this power is a force for good. And this power emerges from the one source. The source is God, and God is goodness itself. I know further that each one is an extension of this energy, forever inseparable from it. Now, the Bible is replete with references to the kingdom of God. We are instructed to seek the kingdom first. We are instructed to seek it whenever possible, with the intention of making God the most important thing in our lives. And when we do, we grow spiritually, we expand in consciousness, and we no longer have to wonder whether we are going to slip back into former habits, because at this point, the only place we can move is forward. This is the truth. I am grateful to know it, and I release the treatment to the lost, knowing that it's so, and so it is.
Thank you, Mary. And now, will you join me in speaking our affirmation, which you'll find right up there on your, there it is. Ready? I am alive in spirit, moving forward at the speed of life, guided and inspired by my indwelling divine nature. Well, let's launch right into our talk, shall we? This is the last Sunday in March. And of course, for the entire year of 2022, our theme, which we've taken from the Centers for Spiritual Living, is Living Everyday Wonder. Living Everyday Wonder. That'll keep us awake, won't it? Our theme here at GPCSL for the month has been Awaken Thou That Sleepest. And today, now that we're awake, this is my message for you today. Don't go back to sleep. Okay? Sometimes easier said than done, but many of you are familiar with this wonderful poem of Rumi. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door sill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. We do tend to move from one world, so to speak, to another. Our conscious awareness, then, where we are fully acknowledging and experiencing the presence of the divine within and all around us, within and all around all people. That's when we live in this world of conscious awareness. And in the other, we are not completely aware of the truth that is so beautiful and bountiful, that God is everywhere present, that you and I are individualized manifestations of that one presence. When we're awake, we feel it, we know it, our lives are beautiful. We're healthy, wealthy, and wise. We're aware that whatever may be taking place in our lives, in our own homes, in our communities, in the world itself, is simply an outward manifestation of something that has taken place within the subconscious awareness of the whole human race. We, you and I, really are not responsible for everything that's happening in the world that we don't like. But we are responsible for remembering the possibilities. We are responsible for joining together to ask for what we really want, as Rumi says. To use the power, the great power of mind, which dwells within each one of us, to make a conscious, creative, compassionate, powerful difference in our lives and in the world itself. The door is round and open. We can at any time access that precious presence and awareness that we are more than our bodies, more than our minds, more than our emotions, more than our nightmares, more than our beliefs, and more what the trend is out there in the world. More than that. More of thee, less of me. This is a wonderful affirmation for us all to use. You see, our spiritual nature loves continuing to awaken to its great potential. Our consciousness expands, sometimes incrementally and sometimes exponentially in our lives. We are always ready and willing to move to a greater awareness of what is possible, to move away from what they say, to come into that great power and that beautiful loving presence that is always guiding us to a greater good. It is the intention of this universe to supply us with every good, and you and I get to determine what that good is. We get to choose. We are the ones who get to set the intention. So yes, we've become more aware, not only individually, but as a whole human race. We have awakened in many ways over the centuries to what is possible. Keep in mind that the challenges we're facing in the world today are not new to humankind. That there have been pandemics, that there have been wars, that there have been terrible conflicts and terrible diseases that have taken place over the centuries. And here we are. We still move through them because there is a conscious, loving, wise, and wonderful presence which is constantly, constantly nurturing us, moving us forward, forward, forward. So we're awakening. Think of ourselves awakening personally. Think how much more aware you are now than when you were 25 years ago. Think of the beliefs you might have had at that time that you have realized never were true, and released them and moved to a greater reality, a freer life, more health, more love, more abundance, more creative activity than you ever knew before. You and I continue to move along our individual spiritual paths. We're more aware, we're wiser, we're more loving. And yet, have you noticed? Still, we can forget and we can become too involved in the relativity. We need to remove ourselves from the secondary conditions and come back to the absolute, where everything is possible and the universe always, always, always says, yes, yes, yes. Not just one yes, but multiple yeses. The universe is always conspiring for our good and our greater good. And so we fall asleep sometimes and we forget that. We get too involved with the fears and the concerns. Compassion is a wonderful thing, but let's not let that compassion move us into a sense of anybody being a victim, because nobody is. You look around the world, there are not victims, there are victors. There are people standing up courageously, moving forward, inspired by the divine presence within them, whether they know what it is or not, that is moving them forward bravely. It's a wonderful thing to realize that even though sometimes it seems easier not to take responsibility for our thoughts and our feelings and our actions, that when we ultimately do, we have the power at our fingertips. When we speak truth on our tongues, as Emma Curtis Hopkins so beautifully expressed, then things begin to change. Things begin to transform. I'm thinking some of you who've taken classes with me may have heard this before, but in my first center, my first church in Alamo, California, there was a woman who had changed her life so completely by taking lots of classes. She had all the beautiful books that we study when we're taking all the classes, and she had made such a beautiful transformation from limitation to freedom that she was excited about just living her life every day. And one day, somebody suggested to her that this person and she could become partners in business. Had a wonderful idea, sounded like a great idea. And she went, okay, that's a great idea. And then she was told, it involves moving out of the area. Okay, I'm ready for a new experience. So she went along with this. And when they got to the other state where they were living, and they tried to make this business work, it just didn't work. And she was bereft and upset. And she called me one day and she said, you know what? I just at this point, I don't want to take responsibility for anything. I'm just so filled with upset and blame. I'm looking for someone to blame. I'm just in a terrible place. And she said, you know, all those books that I read when we were studying, she said, I just want to throw them all out the window and just have a pity party. And then she said, took a breath and she said, but it wouldn't be any use because I've already read them all. And she, like the prodigal son, she returned to herself. She remembered her truth. She came back to California. She went back into her awareness that as she set her intentions, that good and only good could evolve from that, and that's exactly what took place for her. So yeah, throw your books out the window. You've read them. We can come back to the awareness that everything is possible. You see, it isn't easier to slip back into those patterns. You may wish to every now and then, but it is not easier, not at all, because we reap the results of our negative or limited thinking. And isn't that wonderful? Isn't it a great reminder? If I've been reaping results of my limited thinking, I go, wait a minute, that means that the power of infinite mind itself is within me and has left me to decide how I'm going to use it. Then I wake up. Then I come to myself. It can be only too human to become comfortable where we are in our consciousness and forget to move forward. You know, life doesn't stay still. Life continuously moves forward. And if we move along with it, with gratitude and willingness, only good is going to take place for us. Or it'll just drag us right along. Now, which would we prefer? I know what I would like. When I was a kid, I grew up in the beaches of Los Angeles County. And of course, we were there every day. It was wonderful. It was a great life. And in those days, we could just walk everywhere by ourselves. My friends and I would walk a mile or so to get to the beach, and we'd spend the day there. And I still love sitting by the ocean, or being on the ocean, but just sitting by the ocean. And we have a new ocean here. It's called the Atlantic. The one in California, of course, was the Pacific, but they look rather similar. And yet we discovered in moving here that the Atlantic is actually warmer than the Pacific. What a surprise. But it doesn't matter the ocean. When I was in Greece, you know, the Aegean Sea was a wonderful thing to look at. Something about the sense of power and peace that we derive from looking at the gentle and powerful movement of that water, the ebb and the flow, it's it's like life itself, isn't it? And so, of course, it depends on how we are living it, because I can also recall as a kid, as these surfers were out there elegantly surfing along the waves, and sure, they'd fall down every now and then, but for the most part, they just were elegantly riding on their surfboards. Well, I didn't do that. In those days, it was the boys who did the surfing, right? But what we did was body surfing. And what a wonderful rush it is to have the waves just bringing you in, and then sometimes you get just knocked on your head in the sand and you get a mouthful of sand, and that was part of the fun too. And we just get up and go do it again. So we can, get a mouthful of sand, or we can ride elegantly on top of the waves. And that's the same way that this powerful law is set up for us. I set my intention, and the law responds to me. When I'm awake, aware that the power within is mine to use and is using me for good, then every conscious intention that I set reaps beautiful rewards. So we're enjoying a good life. Our health is good. Our needs are met. Our relationships are lovely, and we like our work. But perhaps we begin to forget that it is our source that supplies all this good for us. We begin to think, look what I did. We begin to believe that we're somehow separate from God, which is an impossibility. The forgetting is what makes us feel that way, but it never, ever is true. It's our source, it's Spirit itself, that supplies all of our good for us. We might begin to take credit for our hard work. Well, after a while, we come back to that realization. More of thee, less of me. It is not I, but the Father within, who doeth all the work. We can also start listening to those naysayers out there, and we can fall into the ain't it awfuls, and is this ever going to be over, and all the other phrases that come up when we get so upset and afraid and worried that it's never going to end, whatever it is that we think is never going to end. It is our mindfulness that keeps us progressing on our spiritual path. The simple practice of looking with our inner eye, rather than these two eyes that always see in duality. You see, that's how our brain is set up. We see in two-ness. Our eye of the heart sees in oneness. And that's when we begin to turn things around, when we look through our inner eye and we behold the beauty within all the people in the world. We behold the beauty within ourselves and within all of nature, whether we're walking through a wood or looking at the ocean or simply being quiet in meditation. We have this inner eye that is bringing us back to reality, bringing us back to the self with a capital S. When I was a very small child, before we moved to the beach, we lived in Los Angeles in an apartment, and the backyard was just filled with gravel. And I can remember, perhaps I was 7, going out into the backyard by myself to play, imagine. Always had a great imagination. Maybe part of that was the fact that we didn't have television, we had a radio. And we would listen every Saturday morning to Junior Miss and Let's Pretend and all the wonderful shows, imagining. So I would go out in the backyard by myself and play. And one day, I noticed that there was a green stem coming up through one little area in the gravel. And I was fascinated by that. I went over, and it was a dandelion. And this dandelion had a little dewdrop of water on it, of dew. And as I looked in that little drop of dew, I saw an entire rainbow. In the midst of everything, there was one place of beauty, and I beheld it. It doesn't take much, you see. Find one spot of beauty in your life and behold it there. Well, this 7-year-old went on to write a poem about it. I don't know where it is now, but I'm sure it was masterful. One drop of dew contains an entire rainbow. Just look for one place in your life, one place in the world where there is such beauty that it awakens you to all the beauty and all the possibility of beauty everywhere. Let's take a few deep breaths during the day. Let's quiet ourselves in meditation every day. This is how we begin to live the everyday wonder. Let yourself fill up with gratitude. There are so many things for which to be grateful. Gratitude is causative. When we feel our hearts filled up and overflowing with thankfulness, it just brings more beautiful things into our lives. Let's stay awake in order to do that. Let's open our eyes, really, truly see God's beauty. We're meant to continue our spiritual evolution, or as many of you know, as my beloved chaplain friend in her 90s, who took classes with me in Palm Desert all the time, said when I asked her, you've had all these classes, you're a chaplain, you're a reverend, why do you keep taking all these classes? And she said to me, I just wish to keep evoluting right along. We are all evoluting right along. Let's do it consciously. Let's do it intentionally. Let's not have ourselves be dragged along by the river of life or have our heads pounded in the sand when we're body surfing. Let's let grace fill us and move us and inspire us every day. Let's discover and express more and more and more of our divine nature. Sure, we have this beautiful human experience, and I love it, but I love remembering that we're all more than that, and our divinity is our reality. And the great self with a capital S is that which is the truth, our authentic self, our real being. And let's encourage others. You know, the human race itself needs to stay awake, don't you think? Our message today is, don't go back to sleep. Oh, you will from time to time. I will from time to time. Let's not stay there. Let's awaken to that which is true, that which is real, and that which is eternal. Will you say with me, I am awakening to my spiritual heritage. I am empowered to make intelligent choices.
I am empowered to make intelligent choices.
I invite life to fill me to the brim.
I invite life to fill me to the brim.
I move forward with joy and enthusiasm.
I move forward with joy and enthusiasm.
I am awake and I am growing.
I am awake and I am growing.
And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson. Yay! Oh, how wonderful. Stay around because there's some important announcements that are going to be made, and they're always fun too. This is the time of our prosperity celebration. I love this time. It gives me the opportunity to give back to the closest channel of the source of my good, my spiritual food, and it is this beloved center. And so there are many different ways that we can give, and on your screen you'll see those opportunities. And some of us old-fashioned girls still love to take our gifts in our hands. Some of us hold them to our hearts because it reminds us that here in the heart of God, all good is manifest for us now. So will you join me in saying the prosperity celebration affirmation? I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered, and so it is.
I'm walking with the Spirit, and I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning from the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit. I'm growing in the Spirit, and it's showing the Spirit. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. Well, I'm walking with the Spirit. I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning from the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit. I'm growing in the Spirit, and it's showing the Spirit. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. When I find myself in one of those situations that's leading to some kind of drama or confrontation, I go within and get plugged into my friend before it's too late. I put the Spirit in front of me to make those crooked places straight. I'm walking with the Spirit, and I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning from the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit. I'm growing in the Spirit, and it's showing the Spirit. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. When I find myself in one of those situations, when I don't know what to do and got no explanation, I go within and get plugged in for a revelation. 10 times out of 9 things will work out fine without my participation. I'm walking in the Spirit. I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit. I'm growing in the Spirit, and it's showing the Spirit. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Greater Philadelphia Centers for Spiritual Living morning announcements. My name is Jeffrey Messino, and I am the secretary and a member of the Board of Trustees, so welcome. Thank you all. First, we would like to thank Dr. Reverend Maxine Kaye for a wonderful inspiring talk, and I hope you are all still awake and didn't fall back asleep, because I know that I have that issue during the week to go to work. Yes, we are still live streaming right here from the Inspiration Cafe in Paoli, Pennsylvania, and we're thrilled that you've tuned in today, wherever you are. If you're watching us and enjoy our Sunday celebrations and love notes, you know that you can find us on Facebook or YouTube, and please make sure to subscribe and share to others. When you subscribe, you will receive notices when these live streams and all the love notes are uploaded. And we're really trying to get as many people to hear this message, this wonderful talk from Dr. Maxine. So, every Sunday morning, if you're on Facebook, share the link, share with all your friends, and then they share, and then they share, and then, soon we'll have 1 million people watching. So that's our goal. Again, we will continue to live stream on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. You can visit our website, which is www.cslphilly.org. And lastly, I have a wonderful announcement. We are proud to announce that we will be having an in-person Easter Sunday celebration on that Sunday of Easter. We're just figuring out some details, but please stay tuned to your emails this week. We will be having a awesome live in-person Easter Sunday celebration. So please keep a lookout for that. And that's it for the announcements. So I will be throwing it back to Maxine in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yes, Jeffrey, thank you for making that initial announcement. We are thrilled. This has been a very conscious intention for many of us for some time. We need to be together. We need to see each other. And we certainly need to get together for Easter Sunday morning. It's going to be phenomenal. And as Jeff said, you'll be hearing more about it this week. So plan on attending and bringing your friends and your children. It's going to be amazing. Okay, thank you so much for being with us today, and come back again next Sunday. Between Reverend Micah and I, we love sharing with you on our Sunday mornings. Now we're going to have a closing song by Michael Gott. We've had wonderful musicians today, haven't we? We always do. And this is called Move in the Direction of Your Dreams.
Don't you think you owe it to yourself to look inside of you and take the time to realize what you are here to do? Don't you think the time has finally come to stand and face the fire, to walk into the blazing sun and claim your heart's desire? You were placed upon this earth with a mission to complete, and now the time has come, so stand up strong and claim your destiny. You must move in the direction of your dreams and act as if they've already come true. For even when there is no hope, or so it seems, move in the direction of your dreams. Do you think that you're not good enough to be a shining star? Or do you think because the road looks tough that you won't get that far? Do you believe that only some are great and others left for chance? Or maybe that it's just too late, a futile circumstance? You were placed upon the earth with a mission to complete, and now the time has come, so stand up strong and claim your destiny. You must move in the direction of your dreams and act as if they've already come true. Even when there is no hope, or so it seems, move in the direction of your dreams.
alive, awake, and aware, and as we go forth into our beautiful day, we are definitely moving in the direction of our dreams. And so it is.